everything.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in CodeCademy. Learn HTML and CSS Part 1, CSS Positioning Layout. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. We're wrapping this up. So we basically went over the box model last time. It's very important to see how things are laid out and we understand what we're trying to do here. So let's go ahead and move on. So, we're going to be talking about the position property. This is something I'm not terribly familiar with, so we'll kind of learn it together. So let's go ahead and see here. So position really refers to the location of the element and how it interacts with everything else. By default, apparently it's static, so we don't actually need to change this. Now, if we wanted to, just because that's what the prompt says here, let's go to the dot question. We'll go ahead and set a position, and we'll set it to static. But again, by default, this is what the browser will have in the system here. Now, you'll see right here, static. This would be our position. Question. Let's see our question. Where's our dot question on here? The content is not changing, it's static. It's kind of a weird thing to have like this, but I'm sure we'll be using it. So, we set the position. The relative parameter, or the relative input, allows you to position it on the web page relative to where it is. What does that mean? Well, I think the easiest thing to do is to kind of see what we're doing. So again, remember our question is this section right here. Is that right? Question 2, question 1. No, I take that back. So each one of these are questions. So let's go ahead and jump in here and change this to relative. Let's go ahead and run that. A lot of these are going to be hard to showcase. I don't know why this is even here. This is making it very hard to see here. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is to the top of the div question, again in the CSS styles, what we want to do is add 250 pixels. So sometimes you may actually just want to make the block element bigger, and you can do that similar to how we did margin and padding. You can just do top, bottom, left, right, like how they're doing here. So in this case, we want to just do top, and we'll throw 240 px. Now when we run this, you'll see now that our first question is down here below, which is nice. So it's not immediately covered up by what we're trying to do. So, position absolute basically means that all the other elements are going to ignore it, and it's always going to stay there. Like, we don't care about anything else, this position is there. Relative is a little more responsive when it comes to the other inputs. So let's look at this real quick. Everything's kind of cool. Good to go. Now, we're going to go to jump to the question. Oh, the header selection. Excuse me, the header. That's this part right here. And we want to go ahead and set position absolute. So you'll see that it's just kind of always being in the same area, no matter what. Now, we're going to go ahead and add top. Is it offset or just top? Alright, so top. Add a top and left properties and set them to this. So we're going to set 0px, and then we're going to say left 0px, because it's probably inheriting some things as well. We want to go ahead and cancel those out. So you see now, this position is absolutely always here at where we want it to be. It's not going to be affected by any other block elements or anything like that. You can also do fixed. Let's see. Let's go ahead and change this to fixed. Now, if I remember correctly, fixed will make it stay there no matter if we scroll or not. And you'll see right here that some elements are passing it up, and that's not too good. But the div here, this block element here, is always staying there, always, because it's fixed there. And this is something you might use with menus, headers, or footers, or something like that. I've used it quite often. So the z-index. The z-index really refers to the order of what lays over what. So by default, I believe everything has the same z-index. I don't really remember. But, so you noticed before that all this is kind of overlapping on here. That's because this z-index is greater than that one, or vice versa. So what we have to do here is just go ahead and change the z-index to make it a bigger priority, that when these two overlap, we're actually going to say, look, our header div takes priority and play it over the other one. So here we're just going to set a z-index equal to 1,000. Let's go and run that. And now you'll see when we do this, it's not overlapping the content. Technically, it is, but you're not seeing it, and that's all that really matters. Okay, so float. What does that mean? I've never heard my phone make that noise before. Alright, float. So, float, you can float things to the left or float things to the right. Oftentimes, this is basically just shifting things to the left and shifting things to the right. So we have our div answers like so. Let's go ahead and jump on down to that section. Let's see if we can find the answer. Here we are. And we want to go ahead and just assign a float property. And we want it to go to the left. So all these boxes. Why doesn't it look like anything changed? So you'll see that these answers are all floating to the left now as we move farther and farther away. That's kind of what it did. It's kind of hard to showcase that on a single screen, but that's basically what it does. And then you can do it to the right as well. Let's go ahead and move on. So you can use this to float more than one thing at a time. Oh, I haven't actually used the clear property. So the clear property specifies how elements should behave when they bump into each other on the page. So you can do clear left side of the element will not, right, both, none. Interesting. So let's go ahead and see the example. I've never even heard of the clear property, so this will be interesting. Take a look at the answer divs on the web page. They haven't floated left, but the question divs are touching the answer divs on the right. Let's fix this. So it's basically saying we don't want these to be anywhere near it. I believe that's what it's saying. So we're going to use the clear property to make sure that it behaves like that. So let's go down here. So go to the question is. So we're going to jump to the question class, and we're going to set clear left. And this is going to mean the left part of our question block should be clear from that, and I believe drop down a line, if I understood it correctly. So let's go ahead and do this one more time. You'll see right here, it is now no longer, if it touches that, it's clearing it and sending it down to the bottom. Very nice. Something I'm actually going to be using. So thank you, CodeCademy, for introducing me to that. On second thought, the layout's not looking so good. Remove the float property from the dot answer and the clear property from the question. Okay, so they didn't like us doing that, so let's go ahead and just remove this. And this is actually a pretty good example of how you'll actually do your code. Kind of guess and check, see what looks nice, see what works. Clear property, it's pretty cool. Position, another one of those things like display that I'm not 100%. I basically only know things I use quite often. I've used fixed a bit, Relative and absolute a little bit. Z-index I've used a couple of times. Float you'll definitely lose a lot. And clear is something I've yet to use, but I'm very excited to integrate into my my CSS styling. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you know someone who might benefit from the video. And a special thanks to you supporting me on Patreon. I hope you guys are all doing really well as you continue the grind in programming. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the video. Special thanks to our sponsor, Dev Mountain. Definitely check them out at devmountain.com. If you're looking for a bootcamp that's in front-end development, iOS, or UX, go ahead and give them a shot. Tuition includes housing, so you can get up and go and fully immerse yourself in the program. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.